Okay. So yeah, 324 health insurance. There's an article for you to start with to read. It's pretty short and to the point. If you still don't understand stuff after reading this link, you can find many others by continuing to read. But I just wanted to make sure you guys knew what the words mean when they talk about, so down at the bottom, it has some of the definitions, and I think they're really well explained of what is an out-of-pocket expense, what a deductible is, a co-payment or co-insurance, and an annual out-of-pocket maximum. So when they talk about health insurance, just because you have it, they don't pay for everything. There are some things that they pay more for, but I just wanted you guys to understand how health insurance works, okay? So that'll be the first step, is reading that. And then the second step is going to go through this link here. Might pull up my answers instead. So when you first get there, it'll ask you if you're shopping for Medicare, health insurance. So you would be looking for health insurance. So you would click on that. Let me see if it does it. Yeah, unfortunately it took me to my answers. Let me see. So when you first go through, it's going to take you through some questions. First of all, your zip code. So depending on where you're living in your activity, that's the zip code you'll put in. I think the next one asks you about, I don't remember off the top of my head, your birthday. The most important thing is when you get to the birthday question, make sure you subtract 5 from your birth year, because that'll make you the age that you're supposed to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I understand.
Wait, can you say it one more time?
Yeah, so what year were you guys born? Like 2001, 2002?
2001.
2001.
Okay. So you're going to subtract 5 from that year, because then the computer will think that you're 23 and just graduated from college.
Oh, okay.
In the 1900s, baby. Yes, sir.
So then once you see your plan, eventually once you go through the steps, for the most part, answer about yourself / whatever you think whatever you think will be true about you during this activity. Like at one point it asks you how much money you make. You're definitely going to look for things that apply under the Affordable Care Act. I think that's a question that comes up. You don't want short term right now. So when that question comes up, maybe I can open another browser and do it again. But so what comes up for me, I would type in my table all of these different plans. It lists the deductible here, and then the monthly payment here, how much I'm paying per month. And then the last column of your table is pros and cons of the plan. And when you click more plans, it doesn't just say, hey, here are the pros and cons. Like, you need to understand it enough to determine, is that a pro or a con? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So some things, like for me, for pros, for this one, I see that prescription drugs are no charge after the deductible. That's pretty nice. But that's pretty typical with a lot of plans. But again, as you read through all of these plans, you'll see that some things are common for all of them and some things aren't. There's also a comparing down at the bottom. So you can click compare a couple of the ones that you think are best. And it lays out all of the information side by side. Does that make sense? So you can see, like, this one for emergency room, like a pro for the middle one is there's no charge for emergency room visits after the deductible, because emergency room visits really add up. Like, those are extremely expensive. But that means you have to have met the deductible. And after you read this, you'll understand that the deductible is the amount you pay before the company starts paying its share of the cost. So like you have to, so for that plan in particular, you have to reach, you have to have already spent $8,000 in healthcare before they'll pay 100% of the cost. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's your assignment for today. And then at the very end, sorry, once you've looked through them, you can pick which plan you would choose and why. So there is something to be said about having a higher monthly payment, but a lower deductible. So here, the deductible before the company starts paying something is $6,000, and here it's $5,000. But the lower your deductible is, the higher your monthly payment is. So like it's kind of a catch-22 if you decide where you want to be spending money. And like people who have a lot of health issues, there are different plans for different things. Like if you expect to be going to the doctor all the time, then you'll want to choose a different plan. Okay. And if y'all are feeling good about that, are there any questions?
No.
Can we take a screenshot of all the plans and put it in there?
No. It's like 3 things you have to type out, and you can copy and paste that if you need to. But then the pros and cons are things that you have to read and come up with.
Understood.
Understood then.
Okay. If y'all are all good, then let me check chat one more time. Let's see.
1900s, baby. I am.
Joey, did you forget that we was roommates, bro?
Huh?
Did you forget we was roommates?
No.
Joey, did you start Westworld yet?
Okay, so we're missing Robert. Let's see, I saw Chad. Both
Listen,
friends.
I'm gonna make you my spouse, okay?
Huh?
You're my spouse.
No, not
Yeah,
acceptable.
okay.
You
Gonna be
figure
my
that out,
child?
bro. I hope you
Okay.
go female searching. That's not my problem.
No, I want you to be my spouse.
Why?
If y'all are good to go, then you're good to go. You can sign out if you want to, or stay on here and chat. As you want.
Do this.
All right.
All right, Ms. Thompson, I have a question.
What's your question, sir?
All right, so when you was going over the English, the deductible, you were saying pretty much that the higher the deductible, the lower the monthly cost would be, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if the monthly cost is higher, the deductible would be lower.
Yes.
Okay, so if you pay off the deductible, they'll your insurance will pick that up.
After that point, yeah.
Okay, so like say if I get hurt and I have to go to the hospital, I break a toe and I have to go to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, Nasir, how was you gonna explain this? Say that the amount for my bill is like $8,000,
Mm-hmm.
and my insurance company can handle that and take that out for me. I wouldn't have to worry about that, right? I think I'm explaining that right.
It depends on where you are in your deductible. Now, normally it'll pay a little bit towards something. Like if you have co-insurance, then it's a certain percentage. So let's say your co-insurance for one of your plans is 40%.
Mm-hmm.
Then for that, you would pay 40% of the bill. So let's say you broke your toe and it cost $2,000 or $1,000, just since that's an easy number to work with. If you have $1,000 and you have to pay 40%, then your bill would be $400 and your insurance would pay $600.
Okay.
But the 400 is the part that goes to your deductible. So let's say you had a $5,000 deductible, then you now only need $4,600 to reach your deductible. Once you've reached the deductible, then they would pay more.
Okay. Okay. If I have any other questions, I will inform you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Miss Thompson.
Bye.